Now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our next session to the stage. It comes from the mighty Playtech. As you can see, they are indeed leaders in next generation gaming content and technology. They are great friends of iGaming Next, and we are so happy to have them as partners for our event this year. Our next session is about trends and transformation, exploring the technology revolution shaping a safer, environment-led sector. I cannot wait to see what our next expert speaker has today. She is the head of casino at the mighty Playtech. Please join me in welcoming to the stage, Jade Pecorella. Thank you. Welcome, Jade. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for having me here. So I'm Jade Pecorella, and today I'm going to be speaking about the trends and transformations in our industry. And today, unless you've been living under a rock for the past year, I'm sure you've heard of the word artificial intelligence or AI. It's the biggest buzzword used in all sorts of entertainment. And it is everywhere, from our social media hitting 36 billion views on a simple hashtag on one media source, to our news and also our 9 to 5. And our industry has been no different, especially in casino, whether this new form of technology is a friend or a foe. But is a new form of technology a threat, or is it a new superpower? Just like a game of poker, there's an element of uncertainty. When a new technology enters the game, you want to see all the way from the flop all the way up to the river. But in order to do so, you need to play your hands, you need to call the blinds. Though our industry is always changing. We had stone dice to stone chips, drawing on cards, the first one-armed bandit hitting the casino floors. Our industry has always grown, been diverse, and adapted to always be one step ahead. The trends in our industry, much like the odds of a craps game, can be uncertain at times. Yet in the vast universe of trends, some stars burn brighter and longer than others. One such star in particular was the rise of the online gaming. And with that came the mobile platform. But it has dug its heels in deep and has become the revolution of gambling. Technology is reshaping the online gambling industry. Players have access to more games, transparent rules, fair odds, and exciting in-game features that we never imagined before. And with access brings vibrant competition, which can only lead to intense competition between operators, always supporting a player's demand, always running for new innovations, keeping up with upgrades, and improve a player's experience. The sector is no longer dark underbelly, but a reputational industry with brand loyalty, high levels of trust, and transparent regulations that define it. Now, who would have ever thought 15 years ago when you first heard of the iPhone that you'd be sitting down on your couch in your PJs, really comfortable with your cat purring right next to you, and you've got your favorite slot a click away. You're there comfortable, you open up your slot, you spin the reels, the symbols align, and boom, you've hit the jackpot right in your living room. From playing live dealer games, where you're interacting with a live dealer, with live cards in real time, it's like having the cake and eating it. But instead of being an actual cake, it's a full-on casino experience. That convenience and intimacy has been given the game changers fundamentally alternating how we experience casino. But that's not to say the brick and mortars of casino will end up the same way as dinosaurs have done. The thrill of dressing up, walking into a bustling casino, hearing the symphony of the slots, as well as actually feeling the texture of poker chips. It's an immersive sensory experience with a real magic that is something we should strive to preserve and enhance. Now let's take a moment and appreciate the fact that AI has been making waves since 1997. I'm not sure if much of you remember the showdown between IBM's Deep Blue and the chess champion Garry Kasparov. It was a battle of wits, everyone was witnessing a grandmaster being challenged by a robotic AI. The first year, the champion had won, but the second year he was defeated. And if you're not into chess, let's think about video games and think of the enemies becoming faster as you vanquish them, creating thrilling progression. Games like Pac-Man, like Halo and Fear, they took it up to a notch by employing ingenious AI techniques, such as behavior trees and system plannings. And when mentioning video games and AI, we can't not mention Red Dead Redemption 2, where it brought a sophisticated AI engine that mimics the behaviors of animals and how you interact with your horse during the gameplay. It's not just about captivating the story, it's about the immersive experience where your gameplay is truly unique, like no other player. Though with the introduction of new, especially in this era of let's get rich really fast, the world of influencers, where you have clicks, views, hearts, and hits, we create in another dynamic wave. So going to any media source and requesting how to win, how to get the jackpot, how to bypass anything. You now have all these media sources where you can find any streamer who's telling you how to hack it, how to win, and how to win. So thus we need to protect our users. And AI has already learned that it too must use its intelligence for good and to educate. Here's a simple example. I asked the AI, how do I get an accurate number on the roulette table to hit the big win? It did not provide me with any numbers. It did not provide me with a strategy, but instead it provided me with educational information for me to learn and be educated before moving into the unknown. So here is another example. I've now used it as I could use any form where I've asked for random numbers from 0 to 36, forming the roulette table, and I've asked for 5 random numbers. On the left-hand side, you can see that the winning number, in a second, is actually one of the 5 numbers that the AI tool had generated. You and I may understand that 1 out of 5, that's an 80% loss. But players who are uneducated, they will see this as a 100% win and use these tools in a way that is not protecting themselves. And what I did over there was I could have done that with any other tool. I could have rolled the dice, multiple dice. I could have put my hand in a bag, blindfolded, and pulled out a random number. So we need to utilize the AI technology and understand the patterns of our players, from bet sizes to duration, and bring a gentle AI nudge for our players before they understand any issues that are being created. If you think about it, AI is the face of a veteran bartender who's at the bar, he's seen you play too many hands and suddenly tells you, hey, let's take a breather. Because picture this, you've been on the slots for a while, the sims are flashing, the music is going, they're blending into one another, just like a Picasso painting, right? You're engrossed and you've forgotten how much time you've spent. But most importantly, you've forgotten how much you've wagered. So AI isn't just a future, it's the game changer we've been waiting for. There is no one size fits all. And when it comes to understanding how our players' behaviors are, we need to potentially educate them. With Playtech, we use BetBuddy. And with BetBuddy, we can utilize machine learning with the likes of real-time notifications to increase effectiveness and success rate. And just like we've learned from any fashion faux pas, one size fits most measures imply all players are the same. And just like in any other industry like fashion, assuming that all our players fit into one box is a failure on our part. And then to rather adapt to each player individually. Utilizing responsible gambling with AI prevents problem gaming through self-imposed limits, automatic timeouts, and self-inclusion features. We can enable the early intervention and help mitigate risks. And remember that AI is not a replacement of human intervention. It's a responsible gambling tool that is invaluable for us all to use. So let's take a breather and let's discuss the magic of AI and all its wonders and powers. I know perhaps a lot of you creatives, artists, sound designers, animators are a bit worried, but before you get up and head to the exit, let's try and utilize this AI tool and see if it's as easy as it is as they make it sound to be on the internet or word of mouth. So here what I've done, I've just typed in, let's make an Egyptian game. I've asked it for 4 low-pay symbols using the symbols from a deck of cards. So you have the clubs, the spades, the hearts, and the diamonds. For the high pays, I've asked it to create 4 gods. I've asked it to create a gold scarab with the word wild, and I've asked it to create a gold pyramid with the word scatter. This is what came out of it. So, however, the amidst of technological marvel, let us always remember the vital importance of our creations, that we do need the distinctive touch of humanity. But you may say, okay, Jade, but you didn't give it enough information. You just asked it to do some scripts. Let's take 2 successful games. So here I've chosen Sahar Rish's Cash Collect and God of Storms 3. And I've asked it to merge it together to create a game that I could deliver perhaps in 2 weeks. No. It may have reduced the Pinterest time or ArtStation Behance research that you may have done for a week or 2, though we are still in need of the talent among us that has been handpicked throughout the years and has elevated the industry that we sit in together. Though the role of AI can help elevate our diversity. So here what I've asked it is, can you create a game that our players will enjoy? And when it's come back with is an actual sound design idea, variants, RTP ideas, it's given me a theme, and it's given me some features. In the end, it came out with a space theme, which we could definitely use. You could push this onto your team and ask, what do you think of this? Is this a good style? You can ask the client, is this a more space theme? Is this the color tones? And you can work from there. So what I did and then was I asked it to create the same game with the same features for a female audience. And automatically it picked up within seconds to create an enchanted forest with fairies and unicorns. Which may not be for every female, but it tried. It went there. But what's interesting though, that it did change up the hit frequency of certain features that were in the game. So maybe it's onto something. In the end, it came up with a nice mood board that we could actually use as the starting of a concept design. You could take ideas from it. A future shaped by AI can transform gaming over new levels of immersion and personalization, offer insights to craft remarkable player experiences, and most importantly, encourage inclusion disregarding gender, culture, or age, because AI has no shape or form. It gives us a voice, a way of communication. And I'm not talking about a text-to-speech while you're at a poker table. I'm talking about enhancing your creativity and having that connection with your stakeholders, with your clients, and trying to understand what kind of shade of red they're actually talking about. So I'm sure for the creatives here, we've all been in a situation of asking for feedback. And the only thing we've come back with was, just create an Egyptian goddess. That's, for us creators, we just go like, which one? There's over 20. Though what we can take from this is at least a communication with our clients, with our stakeholders of, is this the way do you want to go? And then we can start communicating on the same language. And like that, it's instead of taking 2-3 weeks, perhaps coming up with concepts, iterating so much, we can utilize AI. And within seconds, you can come back with a preview to show your client or stakeholder and say, and wait for the response of, maybe it's too gold, maybe it's too flashy, maybe a bit more green, maybe a bit more blue. So for most creatives here, E for efficiency should be the 3rd letter when it comes to AI. And it's not just for artists, it's also being utilized by QA, from developers to product owners and production. We all remember this device, the always-on, always-connected wireless world that allowed us to secure and reliable access to emails. It was the peak of 1998. It had a small screen with impeccable keyboard buttons that you could feel, and of course the trackball. It became an instant hit, and there was no looking back for the founders Why change it? It works. But then who could have seen the iPhone, the first prominent touchscreen, who didn't need a keyboard, didn't need a trackpad, just utilized the entire space. BlackBerry ignored this new technology initially. However, with the iPhone being such a huge hit, this was the start of the BlackBerry's demise. We need to hop on the train because it's not just about flashy lights and catchy music anymore. I'm sure most of you remember the first slot you ever played. Three reels, one simple pay line, one spin button, and boom, that was a slot. But fast forward to today, and wow, what a transformation. We have now multi-reel slots, intricate pay lines, interacting bonus rounds, and team games that transport you into a different world. So we need to embrace and enhance our technology by innovating continuously to meet customers' needs. Be responsible also with our technology that we use, because it's not just about winning. It's about embarking on a thrilling journey and witnessing the game's narrative unfold before your players' eyes. It's not in the business of fun and fortune. We must never forget that we're not just spinning reels, we're spinning stories for our players in a responsible way. Our mission is to create that resonate our audience and invoke genuine excitement and emotion in a responsible way. And for all of us, that is the true jackpot. So I thank you for listening. Stay playful, stay curious, and keep the games rolling.